Hi guys, I've just been writing a little animation tool actually, and ran into this problem. I'll run the code. Well, as you can see, it doesn't run at all. Now we're running in 165. This means that we've probably used a feature or something that's got where the code generation is not working properly. The trick is going to be working out what is causing this. As like most things, I was writing this the other day and messed around with it since then, and then all of a sudden it started to do this. So I want to keep this project and debug it properly on my development system. So I'm on the laptop at the moment, which has none of that stuff on it. But it's good. It's going to be good to help test, because I've run into this kind of problem before, but not that it's disappeared quickly, and I've gone, oh, okay, what was causing that? I thought it was because I was including a secondary library, but that turned out to be false. What I think is happening is that in one of these routines down here, which is the newer routines that were for saving, what this program does, it shows you an animation of a sequence of images, lets you drop masks on those images for like privacy blurring. So you can have like, I'll show you the keyframes anyway in a second. I think it was this routine here, this GUI save mask. So I just was cutting and pasting code out of the help files, as you would do, as I hope everyone does. But yeah, we dropped into this problem. Hey, there's a problem. Look at that. If file, there's no comparison. So it may not understand what to do with this, but be letting that pass through as code. I didn't notice it before. I thought the problem might have been this actually. See how we've got a comparison with no code in it. Now what actually happens is when you do if statements, is that inside of this code, or in the bytecode representation, there's a comparison, there's a branch not equal comparison which represents the if statement, and the compiler has to patch in the address of where, if this expression here is not true, is zero in other words, then we have to jump to this location in the bytecode, and that's physically patched in later. But if that patch, if there's nothing in this block here, that might cause it to error. I'll just try A equals B. I think it's probably the if statement above it actually. So that's not our fault. That's not causing this thing to occur. I think it is this thing. If we just replace those out for a second, does it run? It does run. That's the problem. Wow, we found one of these long hidden bugs. So what's happening here is I'm moving this orange line here is the current frame within the series of frames. So you could drop your mask onto there, and that creates a keyframe, and then step forward a few frames and place another one, so it will add a privacy mask or a blur over the top. So we're just clicking through. Now it's not automated, but what I was thinking about or using it for was actually to do little synchronizations in my videos and animations. Stuff like you're watching right now. Probably not. Okay, so we've discovered that fault. So for some reason, when this if here is evaluated, it's allowing this to pass through. I'm not even sure what that was meant to be. Alright, so I had saved dialogue in there before. I must be expecting that to be a null. So if this is not equal to a null string, or you could also just say, you can just check the length. So if the length of the return string is longer than 0 characters, then we've had something returned. A quick run again to test we're still working. Yeah. Oh, this is a picture of, this animation's a shot of my dogs, this one here. We're at the dog park, and I just picked this one because it was short. That's all. PB can't read the frames from the video, by the way. I've just converted this to a sequence of frames, and we're just loading them in one after each other. All right. So that's we've uncovered a newer bug. That's a good thing. I don't know when that bug popped its ugly head up, but that might help us with some other programs as well. I did have the same problem occurred in another project while I was working on it a few months back, and then it quickly disappeared. So either I cut out the offending piece of code, and went back to an older version or something. I don't know now. I have seen similar things happen with if you do. Sometimes you can have array accesses in different scopes that can break it. I suspect it's because at the end of the compilation pass, there's a patching pass, and addresses, when you make forward addresses, so this save masks function. All right, so this is a backward reference. So the compiler is stepping forward through the code line by line. So this is 477, looks at that line, looks at 478, etc., all the way through. When it gets to the end of the function, now everything about that function is known. It knows where it is in the byte code, what the input parameters are, what the returns are from it, if there are any. So when it gets down here to save mask, and we're calling this function, that's okay. It knows this address at that time. But if I did this, if I took this function here, did a bit of a hack and slash, as you do for testing purposes, we drop it in there. Now, even though this will compile and run still, I would hope so. Yeah. When this call appears here, it doesn't know where this bytecode actually is, and that has to get patched at the end of compilation, as do some of these forward branches like these. I'm surprised that this was compiling before, so there might be some sort of optimization that's been inserted to deal with something else that's allowed this to phrase that is broken, that produces bytecode that doesn't make any sense. More than likely. But I'll find out. So that's pretty cool. The animation, anyway, for a quick look at the animation. So this is the video project for VSDC. I think we're in video here somewhere. This is the animation. So it's just a sequence of frames, as you can see. 154 frames, and they're just pictures. Just stepping through every single one. So my idea is going to be is that I won't save a modified version of the picture back. I'll save where the mask is over the frame, and then I'll line them up in editing later on. ideally what I'd like to have is I'd like to have multiple sort of keyframes running at once. You can have all three characters masked out with maybe a funny face on there, and do some alignment things with them as well. That's the kind of thing I've been thinking about. It's just for a bit of a goof, but it would make my own, make creating my own videos a bit easier. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and just wanted to make sure I put this on video to show people that yes, I run into bugs too using my own language, and this is what happens. You have to try and isolate what's causing it, and then make a report on the forum, which I'm going to do right now. Until next time, we'll have fun and enjoy coding. Bye.